42 days in a row, let's go.
How are we doing, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube. Monday night, didn't really talk this morning much on the camera. Was quite busy or in a rush to get to the gym for work, etc. So yeah, week 7 of the block. Going over last week quickly, as obviously we're just doing fortnightly episodes, but back to back, or 3 weeks running, we have now hit 100k weeks. So last week hit 101k, 8 hours and 15 minutes on feet and 500 metres elevation gain. 2 weight training sessions. We maybe missed pool, I think, just because we had an event on. So push and legs I'm sure we've done. So yeah, I've not missed a day of running since being back from injury. 42 days running, which is quite mental to say. Obviously I do feel a wee bit of fatigue, you know what I mean, obviously running every day, but as usual, just going to monitor it, focus on recovery a wee bit more, make sure we're eating enough to then recover. So yeah, tomorrow we have thresholds on the treadmill. I'm still unsure what to base this episode around, so obviously you'll have seen titles of the previous videos on traits or, you know, say skills that I think make, you know, a good athlete or a good performer. I've got a few ideas, but, you know, I've not actually picked one yet to talk about at the end of the video. So yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow because I'm going to go to sleep because it's getting a bit late now for the threshold session.
Tuesday morning, thresholds complete, 2k warm up, 10 by 3 minute, with a 30-second rest in between and a 2k cool down. But yeah, a bit of a different session, obviously 30 minutes at threshold but shorter intervals in a shorter rest period. That 30 seconds went like that, so as soon as you stopped, 3 minutes, got a drink, whatever, it was as if you were ready to go again. But I think, you know, my heart rate is coming down a lot lower during the rest, so again, you know, 30 seconds there, it was getting back down to like 140s within that 30 seconds. I'm going to go drop my car off because I'm getting the 2 front tyres changed, and I'll catch you for the later session. Wednesday, half 2, midday workout, not used to this, but the weather is absolutely scorching. Yeah, a wee bit tight for time. Plan was 18k, but I've probably got about an hour and a half before I need to go back to work. So yeah, we're going to try to get in at least 90 minutes at a 5:30 pace. Been to get a sports massage in the lower body, hamstrings are a wee bit tight, so yeah, just got to take it easy. Just got to leave the Osmo as I'm not carrying it about in this heat. But yeah, easy run, midday, let's go. 15k wrapped up, 5-minute kilometre pace, an hour and 15 minutes on feet. Really warm, heart rate was a bit higher than usual, 154 It's like 30 degrees, man, it's absolutely roasting. So yeah, we need to catch up on the extra 3k that we missed out on throughout the end of the week, but I'm going to get home, get a bit of fuel, get plenty of fluids in us, because it is absolutely boiling. But yeah, catch you in the next training. Right guys, Thursday PM, back with another easy run, so 10 kilometres AM, 10 kilometres PM on the Thursday double easy run. Last time we held a 5-minute kilometre pace, but it was like 30 degrees, so the heart rate was quite higher. A wee bit later now, so it's still warm, but it's a lot cooler now. So yeah, going to get into the easy run. That should take us up to 56k for the week. Yeah, going to get into this run, 7 o'clock. Should be finished by 8, so yeah, let's go. PM 10k complete, 20k for the day, 10 kilometre, 4:59 pace, 750 calories, and heart rate was 142, probably the lowest it's ever been at that sort of pace, which is a good sign. Just shows you the difference of the weather. Done the exact same route as yesterday. My heart rate was up at like 154 with obviously the heat, and then obviously a bit cooler at night, back down to 142, so it just shows you the impact. Tomorrow morning in for pool, and then the track tomorrow night. So yeah, we'll catch us in the morning for the pool session.
Those are half take, bro. Yeah, let's go, hangers. What's it lean and mean? Yeah, it's all lean and mean. Let's go, hangers, let's go! Oh yeah, man.
Post-track session debrief, 4 by 1 mile. First interval 3:25, second interval 3:29, third 3:31, fourth 3:31. So an average of 3:29 across the repeats, which I'm really happy with. As you know, I'm someone who loves data, loves metrics, so I love to compare back to previous sessions, because I think, well, that's how you can tell if you're getting faster, fitter. So as I said, those repeats I'd done 3 by 1 mile a few weeks ago, mid-July, and averaged 3:40, and I just averaged 3:29 there with an extra rep as well, with an extra mile. So really good to see that, obviously, again, comparing back to the session we done a few weeks ago, we were on average 11 seconds faster across the intervals. Yeah, definitely feel really fit right now. I think, again, this is just due to doing a bit more volume. I have been doing 100k weeks the last 3 weeks. Even then, I started up at 70 km, which is still a good distance, and built up to 100. So a lot more volume has obviously helped, a lot of slow miles, but we've built that up over the last 7 weeks. I'm quite excited to see what I can put out on like fresh legs. Again tonight, like I held quite good pace, even with, I'm not gonna say I had really heavy legs, but I know that, I've not really gave them a proper rest in a while. I didn't know what to base this episode around, to be honest, even just making these videos. But, speaking to, a few boys tonight, about running and stuff, sort of a bit about mindset and that, and a few of them have maybe been on and off with running recently. They've maybe said their head's not in it. And, I just said to them, listen, you take it for granted when you aren't injured. And, when I was injured and I couldn't run for over 8 weeks, what came to mind tonight was, hunger and drive. I believe that is a big thing you need to have. You need to have a hunger for something. And I just think those 8 weeks off just made me so driven and so hungry to achieve these goals. But, I did book multiple events that obviously I couldn't compete in, such as the 100 miler, the Edinburgh Marathon. So you can imagine, training for that or trying to train for it, booking it in advance and not being able to do it. And yeah, those 8 weeks, they were tough, but it just made me hungry, and I just embraced that adversity. To be honest, I'm quite glad it happened. I always believe, listen, everything happens for a reason, as cliche as it sounds, but if I never went through that, I don't know if I'd be as hungry as I am now. Like, the amount of running I'm doing, the amount of, so I say early mornings, the amount of late nights, the amount of sleep that's sacrificed. And I'm not saying copy me and run every day and sacrifice sleep, that's not what I'm saying. But to me, as I've mentioned before, I'm the youngest I'm ever going to be. So, what, see, for the sake of going all in just now for a few months and actually reaching something that I thought that was out of reach at one point, or I thought that I was going to achieve earlier on in the year and I couldn't, then I'm going to go all in. I'm going to actually give everything. As I said, hunger is important. You need to be hungry. You need to be driven. You need to have a why. Why are you doing this? You know what I mean? Why are you pushing yourself to these limits where not a lot of people will? So you need to ask yourself that when you're in a big training block or when you're chasing a big goal, what your why is, and that's going to essentially keep you driven, keep you hungry. Now it's just time to actually put the head down and just do the work. It's all right talking all this good stuff. I want to achieve a sub 3. I want to run 100 miles. Anyone can do that. Anyone can say that stuff, but not everyone can actually put in the work to get there. But yeah, going to head to bed now because it is getting late, and tomorrow more running, day 48. Let's go.
Same, bro.
Fucking tired and that,
It was a
but
2-minute holiday. Where'd you go?
Right guys, Sunday 4 PM, a bit of a later start than usual, but went to the Paisley 10k to watch some of the boys this morning, then get a bit of scran. So got 18k roughly left to finish the week to get to 100, so I'm obviously not going to let that stop me. Final session, 18k, going to leave the Osmo here because I think I've got plenty of content anyway, and I'm not carrying about a camera in this heat. So yeah, 18k easy, let's get it. 18k wrapped up, average heart rate 150, bit warm but felt a lot easier than that. 4:48 pace. Yeah, gonna jump in, try and get a bite to eat, get the sauna, bit of recovery, and then head back up the road and plan the training, plan my week out for next week.
Sunday night, 8:24, sauna finished. As usual, going over the weekly training stats. If you're wondering what that sound is, I am just getting 30 minutes or so in the boots. So going over the training for the week, 13 activities, 13 hours of training, 3 weight training sessions, push-pull legs, 100k week with 2 speed sessions, I believe. And the rest was sort of more slow volumes. So probably the fittest I've felt in a long time, or the fittest, just by even looking at the track sessions, even the 18k run today. Although my heart rate was a wee bit elevated, just maybe with the weather and stuff, 4:45s was just feeling so easy. We will start to taper down after next week, because we'll be 2 weeks out, so you know we're not going to run every day. I do want to get a few rest days, so yeah, we will end up sort of probably ending the streak within the next week or two, because I do need a rest day like everyone else, and I always preach about them. And yeah, really happy with how the training block's going for just having a 10-week prep. So this is a good 1%, but yeah, just a wee bit on sort of hunger. It is something that I've experienced a lot during this prep, like nothing else. Like, I'm just so hungry to get better. And a lot of people have never really experienced that hunger, that drive before. And it's almost like you need to put yourself in that situation to be hungry. That sounds a bit like, well, that's quite serious, Aaron. You know, it's just a fucking half marathon in 100 miles, you know what I mean? It's not the end of the world if you get a good time or whatever, but you need to look at it like that. You need to have that mindset. I'm not going to say I'm going to be a fucking professional athlete or anything, but I do want to see and push myself to that physical and mental limit, whether it is in the half, whether it is in the 100 miles or the marathon. So you need to have that mindset of taking it seriously, or else what's the point? What's the point putting in all this training if you're not going to take it serious? So anyway, that's a quick bit on hunger before this DJI runs out. As usual, appreciate every view, like, comment, etc. I know I'm trying to keep these quite authentic and quite raw.
The Osmo ran out there, but as I was saying, just try to keep these quite raw and authentic on the lead up to the event. 3 weeks out till the Budapest half, and 5 weeks, I believe, out till the 100 miles in Cheshire. So we need to start getting sort of stuff prepped for that as well now. So yeah, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you soon.